Right, man. What's up? Get your ass up. Oh, man, you always do. What's going on, man?
What's good, Red?
Hey, man, they was clowning you at work today, man. So? I mean, we watched the video a couple times, but we really couldn't tell if it was you.
Yo, how's your eye?
Oh, it's cool. God damn!
What's up, Op? What's up, Op? Yo, let me get one of them flyers, man.
Man, I ain't giving you shit. You better get the hell out of here before Cat Pop come out here.
Man, come on, man. Why you gotta be like that, man? I'm trying to come to class, man. Why you acting crazy?
Man, you need to go do that.
Man, I ain't giving him shit.
Man, what? Man, you ain't gonna give me check. We need brothers to come to class.
Damn, man. Ite me yato me tararo tato.
Man, you fucking racist, man. Give me this goddamn flyer, man. You acting crazy, home.
Man, fuck you.
Oh, shit. Tebow, nigga.
What?
Who? Tebow.
Oh, damn, I ain't been to class in a minute. Shit. Oh, shit.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Red? Thanks for the bike. You got on my ties, homie.
I ain't got nothing. I thought you already collected the ties.
I did, but I want Red's 10%.
Stole him out.
What's up, Red? What you got on my ties, homie?
I ain't got nothing, man.
Oh, yeah. You got something.
I ain't got. Hey, man, that's messed up, man.
Shut your ass up or I knock your ass out.
Yo, Tebow, man, that's messed up, man. Give him his money back.
What money?
Right now.
Hey, man, why ain't y'all help me?
Yeah, man, I paid my tithes.
Man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would have helped y'all.
What about the time he took the ties from me in Zariah's backyard?
Oh, that was different.
Man, let's jump him.
Man, sit your ass down, man.
Man, I got mind control over Tebow. When he here, I pay my tithes. But when he leave, I pay my tithes.
Man, damn, man. I should have just paid my tithes, man.
Man, that nigga gonna cry in the car.
Should have paid his tithes.
Shit, real shit.
This shit is endless. What I speak is the truth. I don't care if it's offensive. 12 rounds hit hard, and this shit gon' go the distance. Way to exit cool, but wait till you see the interest. Know that we them niggas when we walk inside the entrance. Put me as the GOAT, you should be honored to get a mention. All my clips is standard, but I still get extensions. Switch on the big 30, sound like when it's spitting. Album so high, I had to give them an extension. One West till they bury me. Yeah, that's the commitment. Don't trust the soul, niggas purring on they hit shit. What I speak is the
What's up,
truth.
y'all?
I don't care if it's offensive.
What's up, Red?
Life that I chose, no turning
Thanks for the
back.
bike.
They don't
What you got on my ties, homie?
God damn, man.
What I speak is the truth. I don't care if it's offensive.
God
Life
damn.
that I chose, no turning back. They don't understand when we tell them no forgiveness.
Tebow, nigga. Tebow.
Reincarnation. So you know the endless. I'm solidified and stamped. That's why I walk with a signet.
I want to do
Good. Be like, man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would help y'all.
All right, word. Man, that's fucked up. If it was y'all, I would have helped y'all.
Blameless. And if you ain't the same, I'm against it. Was born with this shit. The other half, I'm just gifted. 20 on me. Wish a nigga would so I could spend it. Start from the branch, then I ain't at the soil. You got a peer on me. That'll leave your family tree for you. Can't catch you, then
Of people that populate our planet.
And we told you about 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. That's where the I.S.U.P.K started in 1969.
I'm Harry Robinson, and I'm curious. Curious about the different beliefs, interesting individuals, and eclectic groups of people that populate our planet. That's why I'm in the US, spending time with a religious fringe group currently listed as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, sticking out amongst the countless white supremacist factions that dominate the listings. I'm here to be curious and to find out what it takes for faith to become hate.
You say like going through Miami Airport, huh? No, it ain't nothing like Miami Airport. What's this right here?
On the buckle of the Bible Belt of the United States lies the Oklahoman branch of the I.S.U.P.K, a Zionist Israelite group that believes that African Americans are one of the lost tribes of Israel and whose means of preaching stand out in the overwhelmingly white Christian state.
Hold on, you think we're on the bottom because we want to be on the bottom? When the Most High is telling us we're special people, we ought to be separated from these devils and dogs, Edomites.
The group operate nationally and have had their fair share of bad press. So with me happy to play by their rules, the Oklahoman Israelite School insisted I met them at a children's park so I could find out more about their beliefs and reputation.
Hey, check this out. Before we can do this, let me can I pat you down?
Oh yeah.
It's order, how you do things, you know what I'm saying? So and everything's good. It's for our safety and your safety. It's always a threat to, for us, but it's like in the Bible, the Lord was always with the prophets. You know what I'm saying? But in the Bible, people were against the prophets. The prophets did die.
Talk to me a bit about what the ISUPK is to you then.
It's all about being black, being an Israelite, knowing who you are, knowing what's your duty, what you do as a priest and a prophet of the Lord, and loving your people. Because man, I'm telling you, like being my father was a pastor.
For what religion?
He was Christian pastor, Baptist. In society, in the regular society, in the world, I would have been like a dude that I didn't commit no crimes. When I was a boxer, and then after I finished boxing, I started being a personal trainer and everything, So I wasn't a person that didn't committing any crimes or anything, but I was committing crimes against the Most High. I was in the world like, hey, everybody, people used to tell me how good I was. It's a good dude, man. He don't hustle drugs. He don't do nothing. Just, I was a good dude in their sight. But unto the Most High sight, I was evil. I was whoring out women, eating crab, shrimp, and lobster, celebrating holidays. All that stuff is sin.
The I.S.U.P.K's overt and confrontational manner of calling out the oppression of minorities, equipped with their warlike attire, reminded me of the Black Panther Party. They too were categorized as hateful by officials, although one stark difference rung in my mind which separates the I.S.U.P.K from a group that was crucial in the civil rights movement. The I.S.U.P.K's religious tinge on racial politics is the barbed thorns of the group's rhetoric. Despite understandably wanting justice, the intolerance rooted in religious beliefs is the main reason the I.S.U.P.K has its hate group status, with the SPL Center even reclassifying the group to show this. Could the religious aspect be the real problem here rather than the group's racial politics? Is it outrageous in itself that I drew comparisons to the Black Panthers?
Did you have a worldly name, or is that would you class you before the I.S.U.P.K as a?
Well, we just say a slave name. The name I still use is slave name.
What was your slave name?
Well, I'd rather not tell. I would never say it on camera. You know what I'm saying? But what it is, it's a common name, But you know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm not that person no more. I'm not that person no more. Now I'm your girl, walk your house. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel that in almost a metaphorical sense, that person with the slave name who was a boxer is dead now, and this is a new life, kind of?
You know what I'm saying?
Metaphorically.
Yes, yeah, exactly. He's dead. Because I don't even think the same way.
So the thing that led me on to this kind of documentary and this journey to learn about the I.S.U.P.K was the fact that the I.S.U.P.K is listed on the Southern Poverty Law Center as a hate group. And I mean, I have spoken in my past to previous hate groups And you mentioned before about white supremacy, and I've spoken to white supremacist groups.
Yeah.
Why do you think that you are put on par with groups that are laden with swastikas and have committed
Well,
crimes?
one thing, because we regard, we're the priests and prophets of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the truth can't come out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the white man's, that's his kingdom. That's the fall of his kingdom, what I'm trying to say. Once the truth comes out and people start obeying the Most High, then Christ is going to come. We can't get caught up with what people are saying bad about us. We got to go in there with give the truth to our people and wake them up, because that's our job. And the people going to say the most evilest things about us. We can't go in there. We can't even listen to that.
That's why I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
ISUPK.com is the website. I'm Commander General Yohanna, and I got the helm, and we bringing it on in like we do every Monday night, holding it down with this truth all over the world. Big shout out to all the camps that have been holding us down and bringing this truth forward and holding it on. Oklahoma. You understand? Oklahoma. Big shout out. You good? Okay. Yeah. Big shout out to Oklahoma. All the warriors holding it down out there, man. Y'all did an excellent job, man, with that interview, bringing it down. Big shout out to SHALAM. Did it up all the way out there in England with the posse, the Rasha, and all of them out there. You understand? Y'all did an amazing job, man, with that as well. What else went down this week? I think
that movie won the best film at the Oklahoma Film Festival.
Come on, man. The best. Damn! Give it up, man. Black
Sabbath, and it won the best film at the Oklahoma Film Festival this year.
Big shout out to you, Garwalk, man, and his whole team, I.S.U.P.K and all of them brothers out there, man. Y'all did an amazing job, man. Brought that thing back good and wet. You know what I'm saying? Number one in the Oklahoma Film Festival. Hey. You might better pay some money. You know, man, great job, man, great job. What else we missing? Anything else? Big to report this week?
The Nashville cookout, if that's what you mean.
Damn right, come on, man.
Nashville cookout next week.
Next week?
Go ahead. I believe it's
really the whole weekend.
The whole week next week.
Come. Big shout out to Nashville. Get ready to go out there, man, hang with them brothers, man. You mean, see what it's like. Now, Tennessee is known for their guns out Tennessee.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I heard about that. We're coming out there to see Tennessee. So, big shout out to the brothers out there getting ready to get it on for next week, man. I know they're planning on getting a lot done. Things looking great in the nation. Let's get on into it. There's a lot going on in Hollywood. Man, a lot of evil being perpetrated in Hollywood. I mean, how many of y'all are familiar? If I could, I'll come back to that story in a second, you guys. But let me just pepper this whole Hollywood zone. Hollywood is emerging themselves and showing what their true colors are. And let me tell you something. only the Israelite school of UPK has been the only ones to give you the warning about what was about to happen with allowing these Africans in. How many of y'all heard about the new Black Panther movie? The new Black Panther movie, according to the critics, is a war between the Africans and the Latinos. They're going to do the usual divide and conquer against each us. So now they're going to pit us against the Latino tribes and have us fight once again. When you let them heathens in, the Lord said they would get up above thee very high and you would come down low. They already came in and humiliated the tribe of Judah. Like that first movie of Black Panther was a complete humiliation of the tribe of Judah, a complete disrespect to the tribe of Judah. Now they coming right there will show you they know who we are. They coming right back now and coming out with the next movie and trying to have us fight against the Latino tribe to bring division between the Latino tribe and the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin. More of the same evil. And stealing all our music and everything to make the Africans look great. We are not Africans, man. We left that continent, man, 500 years ago. Not only did we leave it 500 years ago, we was never there. We was never a part of it, man. Okay, but I'm gonna come back to it because there's so many other movies now breaking forth in Hollywood that's causing a stir, and black people need to be commended on the way they standing up against these movies, man. They're not having it. A lot of black people are really aware and awake on what's going on. So I'm off of it. So with that, come on, you guys, tell us where we going.
Come. Police board orders hiring of CPD officer Patrick Kelly, accused of shooting friend in head while off duty and lying about it.
Go ahead, yo.
Calm. Chicago police officer Patrick Kelly, accused of shooting his friend in the head more than a decade ago, has been fired. The decision came down from the police board on Thursday. Kelly is accused of shooting Michael Laporta in the head after a night of heavy drinking.
Wait a minute. Did they say 10 years ago?
It's worse than that. You died, was it 10 or 14 you died?
Come.
I believe 10 years ago, this cop said his friend was suicidal. They were sitting around drinking in the garage. His friend was suicidal, grabbed his gun, and he fought with it, and his friend took his gun and shot himself in the head with it. Now, that was 10, 14 years ago. The family sued the cop who said that he witnessed him attempted suicide because the man woke up out of a coma. Oh! The cat woke up out of a coma and said, I did not shoot myself in the head. My friend shot me in the head. The family sued in court and got, I think, $100 million, some ridiculous number this day in the story, right?
You got that number?
If you want, you can play the TikTok for Commander GEN.YAHANNA if the story is not concise enough, all right?
Come. $44 million.
$44 million. The family won. And after the family won $44 million in the wrongful attempted murder, the cop finally got fired. You understand what that means? No jail, no arrest. He lost his job for shooting someone in the goddamn head 10 years ago, and he only got fired now. And of course, that doesn't mean he can't go to a town over and get a job again.
Of course. That's crazy. We live in two different empires. Completely different empires. You get to shoot him in the head in your house and go home for 10 years.
Yeah, so the police union, they think it's organized crime in America.
That is insane. I heard they just passed new laws in several states saying you can't film the cops within 8 feet. Is that true? They're trying to pass new laws. I'm not sure about them, but I heard that they're trying to pass new laws that say you can't shoot a cop within 8 feet. Also, too, big shout out to Captain Malaqua. Captain Malaqua sent me over a report that, do you know now Chicago is deciding certain crimes they're not responding to. This is a trespass crime. Somebody trespass on your property, they not coming. They never had to come to me. That didn't change the it didn't matter if they were which is insane. You got to go ahead.
Con, sir. It says it is now illegal to record cops within 8 feet in Arizona.
Oh, Arizona started within 8 feet. So if you want cameras on, you're going to have to put them on a pole 8 feet high to make sure that they're looking down at the cops. Otherwise, you can't. It'd be illegal for you to have it. Which is the same old thing will show you that the whole idea of defunding the cops and all that was just theatrics. It was just theatrics, man. Okay?
And of course, if you're in your car, I don't know how you're going to get 8 feet away.
Yeah.
Which means he can just smack it out your hand.
Yeah.
When you're in the car.
Or lock you up for even taking it out.
Even taking it out.
You pop that joint out, boom, right or wrong.
And 8 feet away, you can't really zoom in unless you got one of the super cameras. So now you're going to get footage that's grainy. You can't really tell. So now in court, they're going to say, well, we can't see clearly the angle, X, Y, Z. Yeah, cut on one cut. So now it's more average for them to get out of stuff.
Yeah, you know, man. And who would do that knowing after everything that happened with George Floyd? Why would you do that? Why would you do that unless you just some serious white supremacists that don't want to be hindered in things that you do?
If I could, sir, the fact that the law even passed is insane because who would care about being filmed except for a criminal?
Yeah.
That's why criminals wear ski masks.
That's
it, right. Because they don't want to be filmed.
Yeah.
That's why they disable the camera before they rob a place because they don't want to be filmed. Now you're telling me that the police actually went out and advocated for a law not to be filmed? They're criminals.
Okay. Yeah. And how can they do that when they all supposed to wear body cameras? Like you got a body camera on to wear to really be accountable for your actions when you interact with a citizen, right? You got the body cameras, now they can't film you for 8 feet away. Come on, that makes no sense. Like you said, sir, criminals don't want to be seen. Yeah. That's why they turn their face, they cover their face, they disable camera, they don't want to be seen. Same exact thing. Come on, if you're doing what's right, well, why do you care about who tell what? Look at that.
Right. You're right. Why would you care? You know what I mean? And listen, they're working for the city. They're working for the people, and you're giving them power over people's lives.
Yeah.
They got power over your life. If they step into your life legally, they have a right to take total control over your life and your physical body, which is unheard of in history, except for the Egyptian Empire and the empires that came after that. Yeah. Prior to the Egyptian Empire, there was no such thing as any man having any control over you. When you go back and look in Israel, in our nation and in our kingdom, there was no such things as cops. The men of the city ran the city. And if you violated the law of the Most High, the men of the city would deal with you. That was in the law. They'd bring you to the gate of the city and stone your ass to death if you went and violated those laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They didn't need a cop walking up and down. Every man was policing his own area. And let me tell you, and it's so much better. It's so much better for this reason. Criminals, if a man becomes a criminal, every man becomes a cop. At that point, every man becomes a cop. You can't get away with a whole lot when everybody is armed and everybody knows the law. That's another thing. How the hell are you going to have an empire this big and the people that's in the empire are not taught the law as they come up? Do that make any sense whatsoever? Like, the only reason you would do that is so that they would constantly break the law, so you can keep making money off of it. Like you go to 12 years of school. From the time you barely could start talking and walking, you go into his school system, and for 12 years, you don't learn anything about the very law that governs your entire life. Does that make any sense, man? That don't make no kind of sense. In our kingdom, you read it all the time in the law, where the Lord said to Moses, "Say ye unto the children of Israel, when their children say," give me one of them to die. "When their children shall say, what meaneth this?" Look at it. "When their children shall say, what meaneth this? Thou shalt say unto them, X, Y, Z. Meaning, in other words, from the time your child is a child, you got to raise them up and teach them about the law. Today's standard now, which is so sad, our families have to teach our children how to act around the police. regardless of how wicked and brutal they may be. And in essence, we have to teach our children to not seek justice, but to seek to survive an encounter with the slave master. That's what we got to seek to do. In other words, our move is just to get out of the situation alive from this slave master. And brother, that's why Christ's kingdom, man, kingdom gonna be the bomb. Right. Christ's kingdom gonna be the bomb. And that's why when Joshua went up in there and took the land and set up the kingdom, the first thing he did was divide up the land to every tribe, and then every tribe went and divided the land up to every family. And every family got that land and got their position, and then guess what? They became the police of that position. They raised up sons on that land, they raised up food that they needed on that land, they built houses on that land. You understand, a lot of what is going on is because this planet is really designed to be a slave planet, because you got a slave ruling the earth. That old evil broad that just dropped dead, you got a slave ruling the earth, just like them scriptures say. You understand? I'm gonna come back to that in a second if I could, yo. Yediah, read me that scripture you just pulled.
So I had two, so one in Exodus and one in Joshua.
Whichever you like first, take it.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 25. And it shall come to pass when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep this service.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass when your children, when your children,
go ahead,
shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service?
Right. Why are we doing this, Dad? What's this? Why we gotta come up here like kids do? Why I gotta go? What's this? Go ahead.
Verse 27. That ye shall say, it is yours. It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt.
That's how you teach laws, man. You raise the kids up to understand that this happened before. And this is what the Lord did. And this is how we got delivered out of here. And this is why we keep this memorial. And this is why you should never forget what happened to us. Once again, every black man, Latino, and Native Indian man got to learn the Bible. You got to learn the Bible. Because once again, what you didn't learn as a child, what we didn't get as a child, we got to now get quickly. We got to become the children of Israel again, so we can get that thing again, so we can get it back in us, so that guess what? We now know real right and wrong and what's not supposed to rule over us, and what's not, and how life is really supposed to go. You understand? That's how it's supposed to be. And you know, a lot of them old westerns, I don't want to run too much, but a lot of them old westerns, you watch them old western movies, when they out in them territories, that's how it used to be. Like a cat have a ranch, and all of a sudden some riders come in, and him, his wife, his kids, they all come out with shotgun. You're like, yeah, what you want? Why you here? You understand? And you had to explain why you was there, because that was his land. And he was going to protect that land. And so was his family, because there wasn't no cops out in that territory. That's real life. That's real life. Make-believe life is you sit in your house completely vulnerable, and then if something happens, you call Esau on 911 and give you the illusion that he gonna come and get you, when that don't almost never happen. Like he come after the crime. It's rare he ever stop any crime. Maybe he might get the call and cut in, right or wrong. But most of the time, he there after the crime. He catch every criminal after the crime. But what good is that when they done already did the crime? The rape already done. The murder already done. You might get back some of the property on the theft. But that's after it's been done. That's not how life's supposed to go. And that's why we got to put it in us, man. We the lost tribe. We got to have it in us. So that we got to start all over again. In essence, in the way that we're supposed to be. That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead, finish that. I don't want to drag on.
When he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses.
Like, man, how beautiful it is to remember that. No Egyptian could ever, if you learned that from a baby, no Egyptian could ever walk into the land of Israel and take any power over us.
That's right.
Because the minute he usurped any authority, be like, oh, wait, you want to do what? Oh, no, hell no, y'all was ruling over us. We learned that every year in the past. So, and I don't, if the Lord allowed, It need to be, you know what I mean, a super Passover with Esau. This is how the Lord delivered us out from Esau. Yeah, you see the land all the way on the other side of the planet to be burning. Yeah, the Lord burnt that up. He delivered us the hell up out of there. Now, shoot, Edomite won't even come near the gates of Jerusalem. You be like, what, Jerusalem up the hill? Oh, no, I ain't going up there. Nothing to do with us. And that's how you keep them nations out from up under you. And that's what we made the mistake. That's the mistake we make it right now with Africa. Africa, all this Africa. And this Africa is we're gonna hurt for this. We're gonna take a hurting for this. Okay, because Africans love them slavery. Sloppy.
If I could, sir, give me Deuteronomy 4 and 5 real fast, because what you said is so heavy. And we got to teach our kids these laws. And when we teach them and we show them how to live the right way, they're going to be like, no, why y'all doing this here? Oh, that's right. That's real smart what you're doing. That's real heavy what you're doing. But right now, they, giving us accolades for us being the exact opposites, being degenerates. That woman being a whore. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not how it's supposed to be. Let me get that scripture for you, brother. Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Read that real fast.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me.
You know what I mean? So like how the Lord gave Moses to give us these laws to learn. You know what I mean? To learn. You understand? To do certain things, man. And how else for us to live our lives. You understand? To be separate from these other nations. It's a heavy thing for us to learn that how the Most High delivers from them the Africans, the Passover, how you destroyed and killed them, man. Our kids need to learn that history. And guess what? The man who's living like us, he learns that. He teaches his kids that. So I would feel some kind of way about it when he's doing it. And they love him. All across the earth, they give him all kind of respect for living like us and taking our heritage, man. Keep on reading.
That you should do so in the land, whether you go to possess it.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
Go ahead.
For this is your wisdom.
That's our wisdom, man. That's how we be wise amongst the other nations. Deep. That's how we live righteous, like you said.
No, I was just saying deep. Go ahead.
That's how we're going to live amongst the other nations, man. The wisdom of the Lord. Teaching our kids our laws, man. Our statutes. What the Most High gave us. Go ahead.
And your understanding.
Go ahead.
In the sight of the nation.
In front of all these other nations, man. They gonna see how wise we are. You understand me? And it's crazy because that movie sort of what's that movie? That African movie? But they got the females fighting.
Woman kid.
Yeah. They tried that before. They ain't work. They tried it before. They ain't work. They really pushing the woman dominance over a man now. That's what they pushing very, very heavy, man. Go ahead.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
It said this great nation. What nation is talking about? The nation of Israel. These 12 tribes, blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, is a wise people, man. You know what I mean? Why? Because we are now living the laws of our forefathers and doing the things that the Lord said for us to do. You understand? And by doing that, we wise. The crazy part about it is, sir, the ones who took our heritage and all over the earth claim to be us, they said it about them.
Yeah.
They said it about them.
And if I could just add one more thing. If y'all one quick ad, all right?
Yes, sir.
Them damn Christians, man. The Christian church, the black Christian church is the reason we don't know these things. Like this supposed to be everyday knowledge in church. But you don't know none of this because they the ones that said the law done away with. They were the main ones that wiped out the Most High's law for all those years, trying to appease these heathens, trying to make the heathens happy. So we had to give up all our laws. Oh, the law is done away with. Jesus died so the law could be done away with. When the laws, it was how we was going to be wise, like you brought out. But meanwhile, we learned in church, throw that out the window. And that's why we so messed up as a people, man. We so messed up, and it's so much wisdom that could be added to us if we didn't do that, man. You know what I mean? And can I go back real quick, y'all, since you brought it up? So we jumped to, we off that story, right? can we just jump to that story with the woman king? Because I got to commend black people and Latino people, man, because, first of all, once again, oh my goodness, it burns inside me. It burns inside me. Let me tell you something. When the Lord said, one scripture that always came to me, when the Lord said, I shall make you jealous with they that are no people. Right. But he got me good. He got me good with that. The more I study the scriptures out, the more jealous I am. You understand? The more jealous I am. That story, the woman king, and of course, Viola Davis, man. Viola Davis is a black treasure. Viola Davis, in terms of a movie star, you know what I mean? I'm sure, who knows what her personal life is. She might be a lesbian. I don't know what life she would live. That's her as the real person. But as her as an actress, you understand, black people love Viola Davis for the role she played. You understand? You know, that movie that she did from the 40s. Recently, she did a movie from the 40s. I haven't been able to see it. But there's a movie she did from the 40s, it's real good. I don't want to divert. But my point is, they used our best actresses to portray a movie about an African nation that sold us into slavery. Like, how much disrespect, once again, because we as a people don't have them scriptures, we don't really even realize how disrespectful this movie is. This movie is completely disrespectful to black people. They know that this nation was known for selling us in slavery. That was their main economic power, was selling us in slavery. And now, out of all the African nations, they go and make this nation the one that they're gonna make a movie for. Once again, for the disrespect we have to receive, you understand, to be a part of this empire, when every time another heathen comes in, or they want to elevate another heathen, here they are trying to put us down. Somebody take it. Let me just
And if I could, sir, and people like Viola Davis, who are excellent actors, who love acting, what choice do they have but to make movies like this? And they don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're right.
So many people look at her. Imagine your whole life you study acting, and all you want to do is act. But the scripts that they give you are scripts that will demean and manipulate your people. And so that before you know it, everyone in the music industry will be gay. Because what choice do they have? They dropped out of high school in the 9th grade and devoted their lives to singing. What choice would Viola Davis have but to do any movie that's politically the people who are in charge want her to do because it suits their goals? So before you know it, by exalting women kings, she demeans women. And this movie is an insult to motherhood. If you're a mother out there, man, if you're a woman, a female authority figure, which they used to call mamas, grandmamas, female authority figures. The woman king is an insult to grandmothers, man. An insult to moms who every day go out there and they ain't got no muscles. They ain't Avengers. They can't beat a man in a physical fight. But goddamn, they nurtured generations of children and helped neighborhoods and fed the poor and gave women a place to sleep who didn't have a place to sleep and took care of children that were thrown away by lesser mothers. And those women have to be demeaned every day because they're not men. And that's the only good thing that a woman could be, is a man. If she's not a man, she really has no value. There's no value in being a mom, a grandmother. The only value is in being a man. You have to be a man to even matter. That's the only thing that a woman could do to matter, is to be a man, is to be the one thing that she can't be, and the one thing that she's not. The one thing that isn't what she's done for so many years.
Right. It's never been her. Sorry, I'm gonna.
No, that's it.
Break it down. It's never been her success story.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't
that was it. That was
listen, what you're saying is so heavy. Like, it's never been her success story. It has never been. Her success story has been the other things that she's done in life. And again, and here's the thing. Once again, black people went in on the movie. And black people are conflicted. I'm gonna come to you in a second. Black people are conflicted because they don't want to boycott Viola Davis. You understand? But they know they want to boycott the damn movie. You understand? And the movie was written by 2 white women, and they totally cut out the part about these Africans having us enslaved. You know what I mean? And if I could, that's why we say Kwame. I'm coming in there. Why? That's why we say Kwame SHALAM, because Israel needs to rise. Because here's why. Then movies like this will never ever be able to get traction because they will know you cannot disrespect us as a people and make a movie with a nation that everybody knows had us in slavery and then take the slavery part out. Black people was furious. Go ahead, you guys.
If I may, sir, what you bringing out is just so heavy. I was looking at this sister on Twitter today, and her review was just excellent. And she pointed something out that went over a lot of people's heads. She said, I want to boycott the movie. I don't want to demonize Viola, but she did bring out something that was heavy. Viola, out of all of them, was the only Israelite. Every other actress that you see that's with the woman king that's supposed to be a part of that tribe, they are all Nigerian and Ghanaian. Viola Davis was the only sister.
That's they had to use the sister to bring in the movie, wiped out the fact about slavery, and then gave all them Hamites jobs. Like all them Hamite actors. You know how many actors and actresses, man, in Hollywood that are black that can't get no roles? Damn, they're all. Damn, they're all. They damn near camped out at Tyler Perry's doorstep. You understand? Hoping that he come up with a movie that they can fit it. You understand? I'm talking fairly big actors and actresses, and they ain't getting no work in the Hollywood circuit. Meanwhile, they go give all these Africans a job. I mean, it's that right there. But once again, we got to give it to our brothers and sisters. They went in on this movie. We got to give it to them. They went in. Now the movie still did good. The movie did $19 million for the weekend, which is damn good. You understand? Which is good for a movie. You know what I mean? $19 million first weekend was good for the weekend. So the movie's making money. But man, how much disrespect.
What was black people saying about it, sir?
Can we get some of those comments up? You pull some up. They was like, how you going? They was making memes and all. Like, how you gonna have a movie about an African nation that had us in slavery and never even bring out that we was enslaved in them. They were like, how you gonna have a movie about Africa and then you got 2 white women that wrote the damn movie? I mean, they was going in. You know what I mean?
Sir, just tell them, General Mayat, this tribe here, this is a myth and not true, of course, right? But it's based on the Dahomey tribe, right, who were notorious slave traders.
Yes.
And notorious because even speaking of Queen Elizabeth, when the British Empire outlawed slavery, the Dahomey tribe kept doing it.
Yes.
And the British Empire had to raid their boats and had
to stop them.
Had to get on their boats. Blockade. Had to stop their boats and force them because they kept selling slaves to the Portuguese and the French. And the British had to police the waterways around their island to stop them from selling slaves. That's how notorious they were, that they did it even when it was illegal. They kept doing it. And that's what they're famous for. Like, this is a tribe I've heard of. Like, they're famous for the British Empire having to put the damn foot down to make them stop selling the children of God to the Portuguese and to the French.
And if I could add to you, if you don't mind, so let me add to you. Also, for all you to talk about, go back to Ghana and go see Ghana. The people that was in that country are now in Ghana. You know what I mean? Half of them is still in that little country, Benin or whatever that country is. But the other half, the majority of them is in Ghana right now. You're going right back to the people who were notorious for selling you in slavery. And now Hollywood is glorifying them. Glorifying them. And we didn't even get to the whole dyke thing. Oh my God, every black dyke in America, brother, feeling, you know what I mean, ready to put on, African shells and, you know what I'm saying? And they, like, what a boost to everything that destroys us. I said it before, this African thing, man, gonna cost us dearly.
You know, I did not even put that together.
I did not even put the whole trans.
Yes.
I did not even put woman king.
Yes.
About the gayness of it.
Yes. Because listen, they didn't even call them kings. Like she wasn't a king. You understand? She was underneath their ruler. You know what I mean? The actual real person was underneath their rule. And who the hell knows if the story is even true? You understand? It's in the history books, but who knows? But the point is, they made the movie and called it Woman King. There ain't gonna be just a man king no more. It's gonna be a woman king. So every bull dagger, is coming in the theater like, see what's funny, all the steroids. Go ahead.
All of the so-called women that you see that's part of that tribe, Viola Davis, all of them was married to the same tribe leader, the same king, and he had a male concubine in the movie.
Damn! We'll show you that. They will show you that was transgender promotion. Had a man as a concubine in the movie. Now, was that man played by an African? Because if it was played by Jake, I'm gonna leave. I'll tell you right now. Okay, go ahead.
That movie is about emasculating men really.
That's right.
Absolutely right.
That's right.
Like once again, we get violated, and until we rise as a nation, once again, everybody laughed at us when we said, identity is everything. Your nation is everything. Race is everything. Those come from the UPK. All segments you got. He was the Hamite, okay. Thank you. You have to take me to the damn emergency room because it's such a disrespect. And to go back to what I was saying, we're the ones that some things because we understood back then how important it is. Without your culture, man, you're not a person. Without your identity and your culture, anybody can sway you. That's why we in every religion. We in every single religion following another nation and never following our own goals and desires as a people because you believe in everything that everybody else says. And the reason you do it, because you don't have a formation. You don't have a fallback position that you can rely on. You understand? Every day you hear people say, well, my father used to do that all the time. Or my mother used to cook it this way. Or whatever a man or woman would say about their parents, the ones that had them parents. Them things that they got from them parents, right or wrong, in many cases wrong because we enslaved. But my point is this. The things that we got from our parents gave us a compass on where we're supposed to be. A nation, your identity is supposed to do the same thing. And the Lord, the Most High Power, Yahweh, in His mercy, preserved that book called the Bible for us to find out in the very end exactly where our identity is at. And in the best way, better than the Constitution, better than the constitutions of other countries, better than the religions of other countries, that Bible has not only our entire religious belief, but also our entire religious experience and also our national identity from its inception. From its inception in this earth, right on up to today, and then it has the most amazing part of all, the prophecies of everything that's going to happen going forward. Like that book, that record is going to change Black and Latino and Native Indian lives when it gets revealed. Because you ain't learned the Bible yet. Ain't nobody learned no Bible out here unless you learned it from the I.S.U.P.K. You ain't learned nothing about a Bible. Whatever you learned in church was just like we bring it out, was exactly what was there to destroy you. That whole culture of laws, statutes, and commandments, they threw it out. At one point, they was just giving out New Testaments. Remember that? Y'all remember that? There was one point where you would go get the Bible, it was just the New Testament. They didn't even mess with the Old Testament no more. It was just the New Testament. And the whole reason for that, man, that whole thing right there wiped us out as an identity. And so we don't have no roots. So you going to the Arabs for roots. Now you're going to the Africans for roots. Went to the East Indians and all that. Listen, anybody that go back and go look at them old reels. Black people was wearing Chinese shit. Excuse my French. Black people if you go to Harlem, a nigga in the karate best. You understand? And fully immersed in the, the whole Oriental world. What's the name of the movie? The Last Dragon. All the movies. Go ahead.
Even now, sir, with like my generation, the generations coming up, like I was telling my nephew the other day, they're caught up in like the Japanese culture. Like they got a name called it for being an otaku, where you got a lot of, brothers and sisters between the ages of 8 and 24, and they are fully immersed in Ammonite culture where they don't even believe that they are black. Like I go to conventions, like I'm a comic book junkie, I go to stuff like this, and they really believe that they're not black. They are this cartoon character that the Japanese made. So it is embarrassing and just disgraceful.
That is crazy.
I had to walk for years. I had to walk outside through all that anime. I was getting drawn a little sharp, pointy, sticking out hair, Chinese eyes. I had to start incorporating that. This is years ago, make them brown, make them look like us. Draw good. And he was in a little battle with it, what I'm saying? But he stands up and, Dad, I do draw black people now. He information is the key.
What you just said is gold. What you just said is supposed to be said in every black religious institution in America. Every Sunday, that's what's supposed to be handed down. That's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Your people come in and you say, look, this is how you teach your son. Teach them when they draw in the anime, make it black. When they draw it like my class supposed to be nationwide. Am I lying? It's supposed to be these things we saying is supposed to be spread throughout the entire black community. And the black community is supposed to get the tools they need to not get overthrown by some goddamn Japanese. So that eventually, when all them kids turn 15 and 20, now all their culture is Japanese and our culture's been thrown out. Big shout out to Nehemiah, man, for being mad as hell with us allowing the Moabites to mingle in among our identity, man. You know what I mean? So what you saying is dead on right. Now, you had to get him through that. And once again, because y'all going through these experiences, guess what? It's going to get spread to fathers. Yeah. It's going to get spread to mothers. And after a while, we're going to start to insulate ourselves against the heathens overthrowing us by having these scriptures. You understand? That Bible, brother, is the greatest book that ever hit the airway. The name of the movie I mentioned earlier, just so y'all know, they gave somebody sent it to me. It's called Ma Rainey, Black Bottom. Heard it. Ma Rainey, Black Bottom. Anybody want to check it out, man? It's a real heavy story of the past about this sister named Ma Rainey, who was real against Esau back in the 40s. They were musicians. Chadwick Boseman was in it before he passed away. He's dead now, right? Before he passed away. And it was from all accounts anyway, it was a good movie. So I just want to add that, to the mix. But man, what you're saying is right. That's where we're supposed to be at. And without it, we just get scooped up. Yeah. You know what I mean? By every nation. Yeah. Every nation gets us scooped up. We're killing each other over other nations' religion. You and the Arabs' religion, and you willing to kill black people over the Arabs' religion. Ain't nobody killing a white man over nothing. White man go drop a bomb and kill 1 million Arabs over there. Ain't nobody doing nothing. When that C-130 pulled out from Afghanistan, you understand? Wasn't nobody yelling Allah Akbar. They was yelling, "Take me with you." What the fuck they was yelling? You know what I mean? Wasn't nobody shooting no AK-47s at that C-130 talking about you disrespected Allah. Did nobody do that? They was running, their shoes was flying off. Right. They was running down that damn top. Some of them was hanging on the wheel. The bird was in the air. That's right. And they was on the wheel. They was going around the wheel all the way down. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How are we going to try to go take that culture, man? We got to get ours. And boy, we the only ones that can reveal this Bible. Your preacher proved it. He threw the Old Testament out. He proven to you he is not capable of giving you the understanding that's in the book. So you must get away from that. And every other religion come from it. Whatever other one you in, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, whatever it is, that come from the book. So the key is, who knows how to break down the book? The Israelite school, UPK. Handed down by the hand of the Most High Christ. And it is the greatest gift in the world. The world don't see it yet, but they will see it. They didn't see Christ. They couldn't understand Christ. They couldn't understand Stephen. They couldn't understand Peter. They couldn't understand Paul, but they did get it eventually. After a while, when they got hungry, when them Romans, when Titus and them surrounded Jerusalem, oh, niggas knew that. And they knew that when Christ, they remembered when Christ said, flee ye to the mountains. You understand? They understood it in that day, and you don't understand it in that day after you put them Africans over. And now them Africans will be sitting up in all their glory while you again gonna get crushed down into nothing underneath them, man. You understand? And they can't stand it. Go ahead, Salah.
And you know what, you're right about that, because now what you're gonna see, because these Hamites, your everyday encounter with them, they're gonna treat you like trash. They're gonna look at you like you are less than them now. Whenever you see the Hamites in the streets, the Africans, they're gonna look at you like you nothing.
Yes.
You understand? Like you know, I had one, I was driving somewhere, and he gave me a look. I looked at him on the stage, stared at me, and he looked at me like, okay, you are beneath me.
Yes.
That's the look he gave me, and I stared right back in his eyes until he turned his head. I would not move. I looked at him. Like, I ain't beneath you, you been going on. You better catch something here. You know what I mean? But that's what they're gonna give you now. Because y'all love these movies, they're gonna be associated with them. Your everyday interactions, they're gonna treat you like you are beneath their foot. You understand me? The same way with Eminent, Japanese. They're gonna treat you like you are beneath their foot. You understand me? You better take control and get down with what the Lord gave us. These laws and statute commandments that the Most High gave us, teach your kids these things, man. Show them who they are. And let them live these laws and commandments, man, in their everyday life. That's how we conquer all these things. That's how we beat it, man. Because if not, I'm telling you, you're going to be somewhere and that Hamite is going to treat you like trash. And you be pissed off, but guess what you're going to feel like? You're going to feel like he's above you. Why are you going to feel that way? Because you now thinking you're a part of him. You're now bigging up his movies. And looking at him like he is everything. Commander Johanna said it. The worst thing for black people, man, was to put Obama in office. After that, hit them all of Wakandas and the women kings and all that kind of garbage, man.
And they feel so entitled now, so successful now, and a heathen has no compass on, what is right and wrong. They only know their own game. They like an animal. That's why the Lord said all of them is as a drop in the bucket. So you black people gonna be looking for them to recognize black people as the forefathers of them getting in, recognizing them like, they paved the way and all of that. Them heathens, them Africans is not going to acknowledge you as the ones that paved the way. They're going to acknowledge Obama like you just brought out. They're going to say, we did it, Obama. We brought Obama in. It took Obama to get in the White House. They're going to come with that nonsense to us. They're not going to acknowledge you and recognize you. They ain't doing it in them award show. All them award shows, they giving them Africans award. They ain't acknowledging nobody. You understand? They acknowledging themselves. And once again, the Lord is smarter than dumbass man. And if he say, when I bring you before 7 nations greater and mightier than thou shalt not make marriages with them. The Lord made it clear. I'm going to put you in front of 7 nations, and yes, they are more mighty than you are. And when you get in front of them nations, you are not to join them nations. That's what the Most High said. And he's smarter than man. And with a little humility, man, and studying them scriptures, we'll learn some real lessons, man. Some real lessons about how serious it is that we repair and bring back our identity and our nation. You understand? So, yeah, Salaki, good, Mariah, hit you first.
Oh, Salaki, sir, I just had a few of the reviews.
Go ahead.
About the movie. I had one, and then I had one comment from Burger King. The actual tweet from Burger King.
From Burger King?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So the first one is the actual tweet about the movie, right?
Yeah.
So it says, and it goes back to what y'all was saying about a woman and her actual character. It says this right here. The woman can review a sweeping, uplifting, but still battle cry.
Say that again.
It said a sweeping, uplifting, but stale battle cry.
But a stale battle cry.
That's right.
Damn.
God.
Go ahead.
Now, if I could, the oppressor, he's masculine, and as far as with his woman, they in order, right? Burger King put out a post last year that caught some backlash, and I just found it when I was looking this up. It says, "Women belong in the kitchen. Burger King apologizes for sexist tweet after backlash." So the oppressor, when it comes to his society, this is a Fortune 500 company. They say women belong in the kitchen. But then when it comes to Israel, they'll sell you this woman is the king thing. But then when Esau put his 2 cents in, it was like, yeah, that was good, but that was still bad.
Right. He watched the movie and said, I don't want my woman to be doing that. I don't want her with a sword on her side. Get her back in the kitchen. But that's a good idea. Again, it's like
I was like, somebody got drunk over that Burger King.
Go ahead, you guys. Did you have more comments? Go ahead, Sly.
I had a precept what you was bringing out, sir, about these other nations coming to us. This is Judges chapter 3 and verse 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel. By them, even as many as Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan.
And before you even go further, if I could, like what a father we have. Like what a father he had. Go watch any film about lions in the wild and their cubs. Them lions is teaching them cubs how to fight. Teaching them, messing with them. Showing them how to fight. Showing them how to hunt. Teaching them what they need to survive. And brother, what you're reading right now in the Lord's holy words and laws and commandments is teaching his nation, the children of Israel, how to fight against these other nations so that they do not do the worst thing that could ever happen to you on this planet, which is that your people be put into captivity. Where your life, where the air that you breathe, the life that's put in you is no longer your own. It is now for the full use of another nation of people. The Lord give you life, something nobody can give. But this other nation get to take that life from you and use that life as though it's their own, which is, horrifying. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Verse 2. Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war.
To teach them what?
Teach them war.
You hear that? Like the Lord said, I'm going to lead these nations here to prove you so you can learn war. You can learn real warfare. You understand? Them heathens know warfare. Black people, you don't know warfare. Latinos, Native Indians, you don't know warfare. And I'm not talking about just physical warfare. You in captivity. I ain't telling you to go to war. What I'm telling you is you must understand spiritual warfare against these other nations. You must understand the things that these nations do to put your spirit into captivity, man, to enslave your spirit so that you now become a servant of their religion, a servant of their God, a servant of their way of life, so that they promote themselves. Yeah. You understand? And not you. Okay? Let me can I add something?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you something else too on the same line. Do you know that white people went crazy when they decided to pick a black mermaid for the Little Mermaid? And you understand? I mean, they went literally bonkers. And do you know that they went and got scientists? Scientists, y'all. And they had scientists come up with a reason why it was scientifically impossible. They said it's scientifically impossible for a mermaid to be black. They said because the mermaid would live under the sea where there would be no sunlight, so she would not take on pigment as a survival tool and a method. And they went through all this scientific stuff. Meanwhile, the mermaid is fictitious, goddammit. Yeah. The mermaid ain't real, Muhammad. Why do you do this? What is a scientist studying a hypothetical mermaid? That's how bad that they did not want the Little Mermaid to be black. And by the way, there's tons of fish that are black. That have pigment and all that, okay? Sharks are dark gray. What the hell are you talking about?
Now the breast I ain't sure about.
They got me there. I'm telling you, I'm gonna fight him so bad. I'll fight him in the face side.
The fish feed out.
Yes. Like, oh my God. Like, they don't get scientists for a fictitious mermaid. Will show you how racist they are. And listen, and here's the thing, they know it kills them in their culture. I wish I could pull up, I got the story, but I wish I could pull up.
You probably can get it.
You probably can get it, where they talk about how scientifically.
I think I saw it.
You saw it too.
She couldn't be black because ain't no sunlight.
Yes.
Melanin under there.
Yes, it was amazing. Go ahead.
And they know that's important for the psyche of America. You know what I'm saying? They know their kids got they got to denounce it so their children can know, well, that's just make believe because we know a mermaid can never be black. You know what I'm saying? Much like them Hamites. They said we don't want no more white shows in our country, no more white pictures and all that. We brought up the story a couple of weeks ago. Because they know that's important for a country to be strong, like the Most High's laws. For a country to be strong, a government to be strong, they have to know that we are better than these outsiders.
Yes.
These outsiders can't be this. We are that. We're the great ones. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you're so right, you know. And listen, and they've been putting that propaganda on us for many, many years. Which is why now it's like, whoa. The mermaid is black? Oh, no. Hell no. Go ahead,
Come. It says racists are trying and failing to prove that mermaids can't be black using science.
This is a real story. Go ahead.
On Wednesday, Disney announced that Haley Bailey of Chloe X Bailey will be starring in the role of Ariel in the up-and-coming live-action remake of the animated movie The Little Mermaid. It says it seems like a good casting with a lot of singing required. Of course, some white people aren't happy. In fact, who are apparently consider themselves the master race, have spent the past 2 days on social media throwing a tantrum because the newest portrayal of the imaginary cartoon, descendants of a man who begged.
Read that loud so they can hear it.
An imaginary cartoon, descendants of a man who banged a fish, isn't quite white enough for their taste.
Like they upset that because in their mind, the mermaid is like an innocent, wonderful female creature. And you understand, with no sin and no evil and no wickedness and full of love. And that can't be a black woman. Like that's the wrong image that they want for the black woman. It totally goes against the image of her, which shows you they trying their best to keep her in a place that she don't need to be. Go ahead,
Khan. So they're so upset that they started to try to use science to prove if half woman, half fish creatures that exist, they would be white. Mermaids live in the ocean. Underwater equals limited sunlight. Limited sunlight equals less melanin. Less melanin equals lighter skin color. Because they live underwater.
Like, that's amazing. That shows you how much they, like you said, in their psyche, they need the mermaid, you understand, to not be black. Like anything wholesome and pure and loving and that requires compassion should never, ever be the black woman. And brother, that is what we're supposed to fight against every single day. Go ahead.
When they see their little girl, when they know their little girl's gonna see the thing. I was on the plane, brother, and I'm on the seat. We're going to one of our events, and I look over this little white girl in the seat in front of me and over, and she got a big screen little tablet thing, and she watches some movie, and this white kid's playing and frolicking like my normal movie. But I'm noticing every little white girl in there doing things, looking just like her, and she's sitting there smiling, and her parents is adjusting the TV, giving her what she needs, and I'm saying she must be in heaven right now to see all these movies, and that's her. She's gonna lay all this greatness on this TV screen, the tribulations and the trials that they go through and triumph at the end. That must be beautiful. And that we don't have for black girls.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom. Good. If I could, sir. And if you need evidence of white privilege And if you need evidence of the kind of psychological attack blacks and Hispanics have been going through for thousands of years, it's this. And if you need evidence of the reason that people hate the Israelite school of UPK under commanding General Yahanna, it's because we say Jesus is black.
That's right.
That's the reason. Like because all of this stems from the belief that white people have that Jesus and God is white. White people believe their own propaganda. And just like this mermaid nonsense, their propaganda is a lie. It's not true. But white people love the lie. There's an excellent movie, sir. A Time to Kill by Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Where the man is trying to get this black man off of killing these two devils who murdered his daughter. He has raped his daughter. He has all the evidence. It was a brutal rape. And the lawyer, the white man, was trying to make the white jury understand this. Trying to make them feel empathy or compassion for a father who had to have his daughter brutally raped. So in the end, at the final conclusion, as he's giving his closing statement, he said, think about this terrible crime. Now imagine that the victim is white. And he beat the case. Because since Jesus is white and God is white, and he's been like that since the Renaissance, it has filled the hearts of white people with a self-esteem that's, hubris, just like a psychological problem with self-esteem, arrogance. And they can't share it with you. You understand? Like that feeling that they get of pride? They the mermaid. They Captain America. They the hero. And that feeling of, what would you call that, sir? Whatever that thing is that makes you
self-esteem.
That shit.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Thank you.
So right.
That self-esteem, they can't share that with them.
No. To share it with us would mean they would have to lower theirs. Because they'd be sharing. So you can't have above and beyond self-esteem if you can't, if you have to share it. You understand? And listen, and this is why the Lord, bear with me just for a second to just roll this out of my head if I could. Like, this is why what you're saying is so, it goes to the fabric of this place. Because without that self-esteem, they could never, we would surpass them. Yeah. And if we surpass them, they would lose it all. And this is why the Lord, in his infinite wisdom, knew to not join those nations, because if you join those nations, you're going to be better than them because you're the 12th tribe. And if you're better than them, they have no choice but to oppress you. Otherwise, they'll fall under you. So they got to oppress you to stay on top of you, and that is what turns them to hate you so much, because you'll surpass them. Listen, you know how many white kids would rather watch the Black Mermaid than the White Mermaid if they get to see, because to them, that's something that's so different. That's so, and they can't have that. Otherwise, it lowers them down. And it is, brother, what you said is so heavy and so right. It goes to what's really inside them. They have to abuse you. Otherwise, otherwise they have to be giving up their own self-esteem to you. And that's every heathen. And the problem is every heathen has that built inside them, but there's one people that don't, and that's God's people. The 12 tribes don't have that built in them. And listen, the proof of what you just said is so true is Donald Trump has been out of office for 2 years. And he is as popular, if not more popular, than the president that's in office right now. And that, brother, probably hasn't been real since there's been electronics in the United States of America. Maybe in the past, before you knew anything else, maybe it was. But now, Donald Trump is he's been out of office 2 years and lost the election. And he's as popular as the president. You know why? Because him and them white supremacists tapped into something in white people. The same thing that makes them want the mermaid to be white, the same thing that wants, they mad also now, if I could. The same thing let me just finish the statement. The same thing that makes them want the mermaid to be white is what Donald Trump has tapped into. And that's why they'll never give up their white supremacy. Just like after 400 years, the Egyptians didn't give up their Egyptian supremacy. Right. They oppressed us and kept us oppressed until Moses, through the grace and mercy of the Lord, rose us up and brought us up out of that land. And the same applies here in America. And only a fool would believe that you can integrate. Even the ones there's rich, wealthy, powerful Edomites in their empire who spend millions of dollars making movies like The Mermaid for Disney and all of that. And then guess what? They trying to integrate, trying to make it work together, but it'll never work together because they would have to give up something that that no heathen gives up. And that's their own self-esteem for them and their nation. The only one that gives that up is us, which is what makes us a perfect slave. And it also makes us the greatest leaders that will ever rule this earth. Because we're the only ones that would be compassionate enough to let another nation have some modicum of self-esteem for their nation. Other nations would never do it. But that's also why the Lord said, hey, you do not join these nations or they will overthrow you and be on top of you. And you will teach your sons how to have war and to be warriors from very young so that you can know how to rule over these nations. Instead, we done fell up under these nations. And every heathen that comes into America prospers. And every one of us does not. When will we do it? When we change our narrative. When we stop trying to join these heathens and love these heathens. But if I could, just one more Hollywood story. I know I'm pushing the Hollywood in further. But I got to give y'all the one about the new Lord of the Rings movie. You heard about how the writer said that he imagined, what's the name of the group that's black? They got a whole group in there that's black. Not them. This is a new group.
I think it's the elf. And I think there's only one elf that's black. I heard.
See if you can find the image of this cat. They was mad as heck.
The new Lord of the Rings movie.
The new one.
Right.
I'm not sure what the name is. You probably can find it because I know they got The Ring is out now. Is that right? Yeah. I don't know if that. I don't believe it's that one. I believe this is. I believe another franchise is making this one.
And that one they mad at too.
Oh, they mad at that. No, go ahead. If you know, drop it.
It's one king in there who and he even the main character, but he's a leader of some land, elven dwarf, and one of the dwarf princes. His woman is black. And they was beefing over that and saying, when I read the book, when I look at it, I imagine white people. This is some woman, some old politician woman was making a big stink about slavery.
And if I could, the writer turned around and said, well, when I wrote it, he the writer. He said, when I wrote it, I imagined them to be black. But meanwhile, the white people watching it and mad as cat. And it's so sad because they have to create a fantasy for themselves to be over us. Because reality is they turn on any sports, any music, any entertainment, any science, any of those things, we outshine them in everything. So they have to create imaginary characters for them to feel their self-esteem because they refuse to give it up. And it is a sad thing because reality is coming in. Christ's gonna rule a black man. Go ahead, Al. And the cat that king, I hope we can get a picture of him because he looked like Shaquan Apache. He looks exactly like Shaquan Apache. When you see this cat, you're gonna see this cat. This cat looks just like Captain Shaquan Apache. Go ahead, Al.
So I was gonna say about this add too, sir, with two things. You know what I mean? With piggyback with Jeremiah was saying, that's how it is with the new Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
I heard about that too. Go ahead.
Like, sir, between the one devil trying to have sex with his niece and all of the corruption, they mad because the most powerful God is next to that Edomite king that can challenge him. Yeah. They made him a brother. And the brother is just powerful and just taking shit, you know. He got dragons too. And they more mad about that than the other wild stuff that's going on in the show.
God, you're right. They was mad about that as well. They said, how's he gonna be black? They don't want this in their sphere. They want white supremacy because that's what gives them rulership. And listen, the Romans was the same way. The Romans was the exact same way. And that's what America feels like. All this crime and lowering of laws and all this feels like exactly like when I read about the Roman Empire falling, that it began like this. All this kind of lawlessness and all this that's going on. Salaki, go ahead. Are you able to pull a picture up?
I got another one of another brother that's on the show playing at help.
Go ahead.
It says, Rings of Power star Ismael Cruz Cordova, a native of Puerto Rico.
That's not the one I'm talking about. Give me the one. Can you give me an image of the king? That same cat that's full of that armor that looked like Shaquan Apache.
Okay, he might be talking about the Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I was talking. It was but they mad at everything. The brother I was talking that Alcohol was an Ephraim brother that they giving back.
No, he's talking about the first
find
story.
me the one from it looks like Shaquan Apache, the Lord of the Rings. Pull that one up, and then I'll come back to that. God. And that's why, man, it was so evil, man. So evil for Israelites, you fake Israelite groups to go and embrace the Africans. You helping bring them in. I don't want to get on them, but everybody that embraces the heathens becoming a part of us, you destroy us, man, and you go totally against the scriptures. You understand? The Lord put these things in place, and you let the white man tell you, "Oh, that's racist." Oh, then how you gonna say God is a racist? And that's racist. Meanwhile, you haven't done anything racist against them. For 400 years, they grinded you into powder with their racism, and they got the nerve to now be the judges of racism. How the hell are you gonna say it's racism when the Lord put those things in place for us so that we would not suffer 400 years under you? You understand? We would not suffer another 400 years under you. You understand? He put those things in place to make us mighty. And brother, we better get mighty as a people. As a people. You understand? God. So if you can find it, let me get it.
You know what
he said it's the Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons.
Oh, that's the one.
GEN.YAHANNA, big shout out to you.
Talking about the same one you were referring to, Daddy. That's the same one.
Is that the same one?
It's the same one with the axe. That's the same. Y'all talking about the same thing.
Okay.
The strong cat. The cat you said was powerful.
Yeah, pull that up. This thing here pisses Esau off. This brother right here.
The one with the axe in his hand.
This here is pissing Esau's ass off. You understand? And that's why, let me tell you something else. I brought this out on Saturday night show. Let me tell you something while he's looking that up. That's why the British people should thank that evil bitch. Like them white people that's out there kissing that coffin and jumping in front of the motorcade and all that, they should thank that evil bastard. Because for 70 years, that wicked kingdom maintained rulership over almost every dark nation. You understand? Like they ruled almost every dark nation in the world and influenced every single nation. You understand? Let me can I pull up this list right quick? Let me just pull up this list because I pulled it up before. Just see if I can get this list. All right. Let's see where this list is. Check this out. Oh yeah, I got it right here. Check this out, y'all. Check out the nations that was ruled by the British Empire. They should thank that evil bitch for everything she did for them. Because them British people, brother, lived deliciously while other nations starved. And particularly the tribe of Benjamin. While he's finding that, I'll come back to him. Afghanistan till 1919. And no, I'm not sure.
I'm on it, man.
You got it? Okay, look. You understand? That's a good shot there, too. Who is that?
Some other kid.
Oh, okay.
That's not the one you referring to? Is that it?
Okay, they had a full shot
at
him.
That's
he was in the armor.
With the armor, I got it.
The armor.
The axe in his hand, you died. I got it. I got it.
That's listen. That is Shaquana right there. Oh, right. They look just like Shaquana. Like that as an image of a king is not what is in the plan. That's why they made Jesus Christ look in their movies. They made Christ. This is right. It's called the Game of Thrones prequel. Yeah. Look at that thing. Right. Come on,
I got a brother in the school. That's
I'm telling you, that looks like Shaquana Boss get up in that gym just like this cat right here. Right. You understand? Give a couple of years, let that gray come on right here. Like, brother, this is something they don't ever want an image of a king to look like. Because this is how it's going to be in Christ's kingdom. Mm-hmm. Like, this is how them kings and captains and rulers that under Christ, this is how they're going to look when they roll up into your empire, man. Like, this is, if I could, this is the strength that the Lord wants inside of us. Esau has shown, now imagine how many movies you done seen with gladiators and warriors and all the movies, and none of them have black people in them. Imagine being white and seeing all those movies like that. Brother, lift your self-esteem up. So that one movie with a brother, you understand, and look how encouraging that movie is. I mean, that's encouraging. And he got a headband damn near like the UPK. Take that symbol off there, put a shield up there.
Helmet look like braids.
Helmet look like braids. You're right. Like it was designed to keep your braids lined up while you're working there. You understand? Like that is the image that black men is supposed to be able to receive. And it is kept from us. I didn't mean to cut you off. Say something.
The Dark Ages, you know?
Damn right. The
Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Before the that's it right there. That's it right there. You know?
And the true depiction of Christ. Dark skin and white hair.
Damn right. Like that. Like, this is what they got them so. They one character, and this is what got them so upset. And that whole tribe or family or whatever, they don't want any of that in the sphere, and that's for a good reason. Oppression is the game of this planet. Oppression is how they rule. I'm reading it right now with the Queen. Antigua and Barbuda, those are Benjamites, dark-skinned black people. Australia, the Aborigines, they took that over. Those were dark-skinned people. The Bahamas, more Benjamites, dark-skinned people. Bahrain, Arabs, brown-skinned people. Barbados, Benjamites, dark-skinned people. Belize, Benjamites, dark-skinned people. Botswana, Africans, dark-skinned people. Brunei, Arabs, or really Japhet, okay, in that area, brown-skinned people. Canada, they took over that. Newfoundland and all that. That was all run by Japhet. Cyprus, Arabs. Dominica, Benjamites. Egypt, Arabs. Fiji, Japhites. Gambia, Africans. Ghana, Africans. Grenada, Benjamites. All brown-skinned people. India, brown-skinned people. Iraq, Arabs, brown-skinned people. Now here's one, Ireland, that they ruled. But Jamaica, Jordan, Kenya, Kiribati, Kuwait, Lesotho, Malawi, nations I never heard of until I looked up that. Malaysia, Maldives, Malta. They ruled nothing but, I ain't gonna read the whole list. They ruled nothing but dark nations, man. The British Empire ruled nothing but dark nations except for 3 white nations. 3 white nations, Ireland being one, American colonies being another. And maybe 1, maybe 2 more. But the dark nations is how their empire was great. So they should thank that queen. They should thank that queen for all that she did for them. Because guess what? We're going to thank our king for all that he's going to do for us. He's going to put every white Edomite nation in captivity. And why is that so hard to believe when God said, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap? Why is that hard to believe? I'm reading a list here of over 50 countries the British Empire ruled, and almost all of them dark nations, man. Almost all of them dark nations. And that tribe of Benjamin caught hell under that queen. When King Charles, y'all heard about King Charles, what he requested when he became king? Y'all heard about it? When she died recently, before they buried her, King Charles said he had 3 requests. Remember, they're ruling over 50 nations. People in Jamaica living in shanty towns. Haiti, aluminum siding is the roof on the top of their house. Water coming in every time it rains. They laying on mud to live. You know what this cat said? He said he got 3 requests. 1, he wanted his pajamas ironed. 2, he wanted his shoelaces ironed. I don't know who irons their goddamn shoelaces. He wanted his shoelaces ironed. Guess what number 3 was? Number 3, he said, whenever he uses the bathroom, he wants a new toilet seat every time. They're gonna need a warehouse of toilet seats for that whole piece of money. You understand? Every time he go to take a dump, he gotta have a brand new toilet seat. They gotta take the old one out. You understand? That's what he requested. Not can we give any relief for these dark nations that we ruled over for hundreds and hundreds of years. Not can we feed some. That's why they hated the Diana one. But she was into that dark skin. We ruling 50 countries. I'm gonna go get me one of these Arabs and and get all into that. And that's why they couldn't stand her, man. Like this piece of garbage get rulership. White people should thank the royal family. And did y'all see about the chair? I know y'all heard about the chair, right? The chair, they're about to coronate him, which means they're about to put the crown on his head and make it official that he's the ruling king. And they've done this for hundreds of years. And guess what? They do it in a chair that is in Scotland. This chair has a stone under the chair. And this stone under the chair is believed to be the stone that Jacob set up in the land of Israel. And they said, because Jacob laid this stone and they have this stone, it is proof that they have divine rulership over the world. Like they sitting trying to take Christ's seat, and which is why every Edomite worldwide should be at that funeral thanking that evil bitch for what she did. Because she decimated the 12 tribes of Israel, and every other heathen she could get her hand on, she decimated them to make their kingdom great. And all the Benjamite tribes, catching them, they starving right now, while he making sure that he get a fresh toilet seat every time he sit down. We'll show you, man, the slavery and the oppression that our people have been under, and we don't even have a clue. They should thank her, man. They should kiss the ring. They should be praying to that evil broad because she did so much for them. Because we're going to do that for when Christ returns. Christ returns, right. Every one of these Edomite nations, brothers, going into captivity, and every other heathen that ever warred against us, they all going into captivity under Christ. And we're going to thank Christ for it. He deserves it. So, did you find it out? Give it to me if you did, and then we'll move on. So,
Another good story we didn't go over is that Bobby Schmurder story with him laying in that bed with that gay man. That was another gigantic story.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
That's tight.
You get them back side by side around?
Trying to work it now, yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling.
You got it there.
And they call him Lord Corliss, Valeria. You know what I mean? Like they don't never want that esteem in us. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know what to fight for. That's why we become criminals. We don't have no identity, no compass, no what should we stand for, what should we stand for. We go join the heathens or do whatever. We'll sell dope for the CIA if we're given the opportunity, because we don't know what to stand on for the greater good of ourselves. We don't think there's a direct benefit for us. We think that, we got to get this money right now, but we lose so much down the line. We lose. You're gonna sell dope and put your children in a mansion, and your children gonna die in the streets of America because you never built and returned your nation. You never added nothing to your nation. Instead, you tore it down, thinking that you had to get yours and take care of yours. When meanwhile, without your nation and identity, you don't have anything in this kingdom. You don't have nothing. You don't have no backup, no support, no nothing without your nation. And without that, all the heathens will use you and abuse you and spit you out when there's nothing left of you. And it'll go on for generations and generations. That's how you keep somebody in slavery for 400 years. Right. You keep them in slavery that very way. When their kids come up to a certain amount, you oppress the hell out of them, beat the hell out of them, destroy them, and once you've destroyed them, then they'll be slaves all the way till they get old and die. And then all you got to do is sit back and enjoy being a master over them until their next generation of kids come up, when they're trying to find their identity. And if you wipe out their culture, if you wipe out their history, then you don't have to worry about them holding on to that culture. That's why black people trying to hold on to Africa. You holding on to Africa because you don't have nothing else. You don't even have a nation in Africa. The nations don't even love you out there. And so you just trying to hold on to whatever you can hold on because you tried everything else and it failed. But what you haven't tried is finding out that the people of the Bible are black people, Latino people, Native Indian people. You haven't figured that part out. Once you figure that out, boy, oh boy, this earth, you're going to see the earth change when that happens. You're going to see the entire planet change. So where we going, y'all?
Hurricane Fiona makes landfall on Puerto Rico's southwestern coast after the territory plunges into total power blackout.
That's right. I got a report today that the whole island of Puerto Rico is in the blackout. Donald Trump threw paper towels at them and blamed their own people for not driving the trucks and said that that's why it was a mess down there. Once again, nobody cares about you. The only one that ever cared about you was a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, Yahawashi the Hebrew. He's the only one that said, man, I'm going to go down first for you. He's the only one that ever did it on a grand scale and on a level like that. Only through the power of the Most High did our people stand up and do those things. So, like, y'all can jump in. I'm going to cut off the top. Go ahead.
Come. The U.S. territory lost power earlier Sunday, according to poweroutage.us. As Fiona approached the islands, which are already grappling with the threat of flooding and mudslides stemming from a Category 1 storm, Puerto Rico was 100% without power due to a transmission grid failure from Hurricane Fiona.
Please.
And if I could, and that's true of every city in America that houses the children of Israel. All of them have some disgusting infrastructure. It's 100 years old, 50 years old, bridges about to fall down, power grids about to fall down because the power grid hasn't been maintained for 50 years. Pipes full of lead, like in Flint, Michigan, or in Mississippi, where they don't even have goddamn water. And this is true everywhere we are with politicians that you vote in office every year. Election time is coming up again. Now, here we go in November. In 2022, Puerto Rico is not ready at all for any hurricanes in the middle of hurricane season that come every year. Please, sir. Go ahead. No, in the United States of America. That's it. That's it. That's it, sir. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, please. No, that's it. Go ahead, sir.
Are you so right? Like, this is the United States territory. The richest empire in the world, total blackout in the whole damn country. Which is, once again, man, it's a tragedy. Big shout out to I.S.U.P.K, man, the captain of Puerto Rico. Right holding it down. You understand? Him and his brothers, they're going to get up on it, man. They had to distribute a whole lot of generator power for people that couldn't get their insulin. Insulin has to be refrigerated when it's not being used. And so a lot of elderly people that were diabetic couldn't get their insulin. And them brothers got together out there, man, and had portable generators and all that, and drove around that island, man, getting insulin to people and temporarily refrigerating their insulin and keeping them on top. So big shout out to I.S.U.P.K and all the brothers out there in Puerto Rico doing an amazing job. Because of Christ and his scriptures, these are cats that really care and have the ingenuity to get things done. You know what I'm saying? And this is a damn shame. So I got somebody love jump.
Yeah, if I could, sir. What's crazy? They talked about Trump with the blackout, right? In Puerto Rico happened, right? And everybody howled about Trump didn't do nothing about Puerto Rico. Well, here you go again, a blackout again, right? And what is Biden doing? Nothing. That should be telling y'all that vote not helping you, man. Right. You know what I mean? The evil, the so-called Puerto Ricans, y'all love being back to the oppressor or being down on him, but he ain't doing nothing for you. Get the proof right here. Another hurricane. Another one that blacked the island out, and they ain't doing nothing for you. And that was somewhere within the landmass of these United States. They didn't call, what they call it, sir? No, they call FEMA, and they call, what they call it? A National Guard. Yeah, they call some sort of emergency they call, you know what I mean? They give them all kind of money. Where the money is for Puerto Rico? Where's the hub at for Puerto Rico? Where's the military aid coming down and helping out with the generator, getting anything back online? Where's that?
I'm gonna say, Daryl, when the Ukraine was going through their stuff, I haven't seen a pray for Puerto Rico hashtag on Facebook.
That sounds
bad. There you go. That's to let y'all know, man, that y'all part of these fellow tribes, man. You understand? And y'all putting y'all faith and hope in the wrong place. They ain't helping you. And they ain't never gonna help you. The only one gonna help you, man, like how you're not the I.S.U.P.K. Right, but when I was doing this, going.
Damn right. In Louisiana right now, I think the water's messed up. Mississippi, right? Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, hell, if you 12 tribes, even within the borders of, this country, they can care less. On the Biden's watch,
That's the politicians. Rewind. The politician during the press conference, lights shut off in the middle of the press conference. Right there. Oh, goddamn. He shook his head. Politicians. You gonna vote them in every damn year, stand in line for 5 hours.
And so they can care less about the Lord's chosen people. This is an island in the hurricane zone, and you mean to tell me you can still
don't have a contingency plan for hurricanes. The hurricanes come through there every year. May not directly hit that island, but it comes through that island every single year. And you still don't have a contingency plan for a hurricane. Meanwhile, they building skyscrapers up here that's hurricane proof. You got skyscrapers they designed that they can sway when a hurricane comes. Go ahead.
Brett Favre is stealing money from poor people, poor and black people to build tennis courts.
That's right. Who the hell is this kid?
That's one of the stories. You got it. Go ahead.
You really?
Money never get done.
Sir. Brett Favre scandal, alleged 8 million welfare scam explained.
If I could real quick, Hebrew J12 said, no money for Puerto Rico, but Biden got plenty of money for the Ukraine. I'm assuming that meant plenty of money that was bad. Like, that's so true. Ukraine getting billions.
Oh, yeah.
Billions. They ain't even got a contingency plan for Puerto Rico. The world does not care about the 12 tribes of Israel. Matter of fact, they hate the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why they making that movie. That new Black Panther movie is divide and conquer. Is for us to fight against our Latino brothers, to be fighting against the Africans as though they black people, to pit us against each other.
I could say, if Christ is not back in 10 years after the war is over, those Ukrainians will be terrorists committing acts of terrorism against America, just like the Taliban. The Taliban and Osama bin Laden, those countries America goes over there and helps, gives them all that money to fight Russia. And then the minute that the war is over, the Ukrainians, the Afghanistanis hate America for the crimes that America committed while they were trying to help them fight the Russians, and then they go fly planes into buildings. And they still will pour money into these countries and not fix the water in Flint, Michigan.
That's right. So they spend billions in Afghanistan. Listen, the Taliban got brand new cars and trucks. You see them uniforms the Taliban got now? When they went out there, the Taliban was in rags, man, with towels wrapped around their damn head. Them Afghanistanians now, brother, looking like the U.S. Army.
And they did 9/11. Like they're the ones that literally, not figuratively, literally did 9/11. Yeah. And they in charge of Afghanistan.
With new tanks, jeeps, you should see them. They speaking perfect English. Yeah, well, we so and such and such and so. Guns, technology, night vision.
And they ain't got no women kings over there.
Ain't no right.
No, sir.
Ain't no women kings in there.
No.
Like nobody was worried about that. No. Like, it's insane, man. But meanwhile, Puerto Rico ain't gonna get no help. You know what I mean? These two, once again, the Lord said, just like that was a powerful scripture you pulled. Where the Lord said, I'm going to prove you with these nations so that your sons and daughters can learn more. We got to learn how to come up against these heathens, man. It's a lot.
You know.
Brett Favre scandal, alleged $8 million welfare scam explained.
Break it down. I didn't hear about this.
If I may, sir, Brett Favre paid
who is this kid?
He was a quarterback for the Packers for about 23 years. And he did a welfare scam, robbing blacks and Latinos in Mississippi of $8 million. They mad at Kaepernick.
Imagine that. $8 million he stole of welfare money. How the hell did he do that?
Through fraud, invested in companies.
It's in the governor. The ex-governor helped him do it. It was in the story. The ex-governor helped him do it because the ex-governor got all keys to all the money.
Right.
And he stole the money and did not put it in his pocket, so they say, but gave it to a college to get like a building in his name. A golf course. A golf course, you got it.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Volleyball course.
Volleyball court, you got it.
Former Green Bay Packers quarterback and Hall of Famer Brett Favre has been accused of using his special access to former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant and other officials in his home state in order to influence roughly $8 million welfare payments for himself, pharmaceutical company premise, and a volleyball court for the University of Southern Mississippi.
That's college. That's where he went to school.
Right. Like, that's expert white supremacy. Like, that's done expertly. That's the thing you don't see happening, which is why you fall under and do not know why you fell under. Because and if I remember that name, this cat owns a huge amount of land in North Carolina. To where there was like they was questioning him like, out of everybody that invests, we noticed that you don't invest in the stock market and different things, but you buying all this land in North Carolina. He was like, oh, I'm from there, you know, and I like it, and blah, blah, blah. He was making it like small. But this cat here, who knows who the hell he was working with, bought up thousands and thousands of acres in North Carolina. And now come to find out, he hooked up with the governor and robbing the hell out of the poorest people of all.
He was asking his people, you know, well, how do we make this where it ain't a big thing? I think the governor told him, you just gotta word it like this, you gotta word it a certain way to get this welfare money.
Dang.
The quote is, he said, how can we do it and the media not find out?
Dang.
That's the exact quote.
He wanted to make sure his name didn't get smeared.
That's right.
But go ahead, if you could, give us a little bit more.
What
a piece of garbage.
New text messages show Farr at the center of a scandal dating back to 2020 when a political appointee of the governor and nonprofit head, among others, were arrested for misusing federal welfare funds, some of which benefited Farr personally, as well as causes which he was involved. Between 2016 and 18, the nonprofit Mississippi Community Education Center doled out $5 million, allegedly at Farr's request, for the University of Southern Mississippi, where Farr attended and where his daughter also attended and played volleyball, to pay for a new volleyball court, according to Mississippi Today.
He stole poor black people's money.
Who don't have water right now.
Who don't have water, and went and built his daughter a volleyball court. Like, once again, like, man, like, that's America. That is America. And the governor tell him, word it this way and you should be fine. He's still, now does he have to pay that money back? Is there criminal charges? Probably not, right?
He ain't even charged.
He ain't even charged. So it really wasn't a theft. It was really a legal theft. He's not even charged.
Wow.
Dang.
Oh, it's like,
go ahead,
if I may, so that's just like America. I took a real estate course, right? And this is a legal document in the eminent domain called Declaration of Taking, meaning businesses can take, eminent domain is the government can take anything you have as long as they pay you for it to better America. They want to build.
Right, they can come in and take your property.
But businesses can do it as well. They can go and just take whatever you have as long as it's for public use, meaning anything that the public can benefit, anything America can benefit. And they give you 30 days to respond. If you don't respond, it's yours. All you can do is it's theirs. All you can do is accept the money because it's for the betterment of America. And when I thought about it, I said, well, damn, that's how America was built. Like in the kingdom, there's no such thing. He even tell you in the scripture that you can't just, that a king can't just come take a person's vineyard and use it for itself. But America will take anything you have for the betterment of America. And it's literally nothing you can do. After 30 days, all you can do is say, well, I want more money, but that's it, it's gone. It's nothing you can do. Like you gotta pay lawyer fees, all that. So they can just take your stuff. So a politician knowing these codes and laws, of course he would go to, that's who you would need to go to if you wanted to do that type of thing. You would, you a rich person got money, you want to do this or do that. You know who to go to get in between all the little codes and whatever you want to use, and of course use your status and use your money to steal what other people have and get away with it.
Right, and it's like,
I'm going to say the government is denying it. He denied that he knew it was the law.
What $8 million?
Who got that?
I don't recall.
Of course he stole. Of course they ran it. And who knows how much the governor got? The governor, you can best believe, $1 million or so, $1.5 million went into that treasury to get that governor reelected. You can best believe some of that when you go and check it out. You know what I'm saying? So what you said is right. That eminent domain is an evil thing. And for those of you that may not know, that is one of the ways that Jezebel was able to take over what was her husband's name? Ahab. Like Ahab, bitch ass. Ahab was a spineless man that married this evil ass Syrian, this evil ass Arab. Okay, and turned around and because of and wanted a garden that was right next to his kingdom, whom a brother had. It was a regular brother, and the brother said, "No, this is my inheritance." Once again, when the children of Israel got their land, they divided it up by family, and you couldn't take nobody's inheritance. That's what Moral's bringing out. You couldn't come with eminent domain and take another brother's inheritance. You wasn't allowed to do that. And so Ahab sat up there depressed. Will show you how a vain, selfish, carnal ruler would rule, which is how they are, which is why they made that eminent domain law. He sat up there depressed that he couldn't have another man's vineyard. So what did his evil, wicked, heathen wife do? Having no conscience for the children of Israel, she sent cats in there and just killed the cat off so that he could have the cat's vineyard. You understand? Which is why our law, statutes, and commandments make us great. Because once again, that our laws stop you from becoming a criminal. Like he became a criminal, he became a thief. He became a thief simply because of his lust and desire. But if those laws could have been enforced, then guess what? Even though he had that lust and desire, he would have never been able to take that man's land, even if he was the king. It would not have mattered. And that's why our kingdom got to be built. So that wicked men can't do what they did. That's evil as hell. To take that man's land from him just like that. Dang. It's a lot.
You done?
Come, sir.
Yeah, one last, not maybe the Bobby Smurd if you don't have one more.
Oh, yeah, let's get it. Was that it on that one? We done with that?
Come, that was it on that one, sir. I have the Marcus Vineyard, and I have the busloads of migrants, and Bobby Smurd. Number one was. So
go Bobby, one Muhammad.
Bobby Smurd.
Come, sir. Bobby Smurder reacts to rumors of him being in a bed with a man.
This is a rapper, sir. This is a rapper. Went to jail for, I think, a ton of years for murder or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, didn't tell his friends, so he got a lot of respect from the hip hop community for that. But then, of course, he comes out now and he's a struggling rapper and has to get views and has to, get interest. And so he made a video, show Commander General Yohanna the video that started the whole thing, if you could.
So what is this, like a big controversy in the rap world right now?
If I'm right, you die. Is it a big thing?
Okay. And if I could, you got it already? I'm pulling up that video. If I could say something, this whole thing. Listen, the internet, social media, and the computer has destroyed you black people out there that's doing crime. Like, man, it's messed. I mean, it's bad. They killing rappers out. Like, I heard about who's this rapper that got killed this weekend because it's what's his name? PNB Rock. Like, he got killed because his woman posted them at a restaurant. They killing y'all like crazy. Like, it's like madness going on in the street. You know what I mean? And part of it is, once again, the Most High no vanity, man. The Most High. Let me tell you something. There was a king in Israel. Once again, the scriptures always give us what we need. And the heathens came along. I forget his name. Y'all get his name for me if you remember. And these heathens came along, and he showed them everything in the temple and in the house of the Lord. And the prophets came and said, yo, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Why did you go show all the heathens the wealth and the glory? Because he was vain. He was a vain cat. So he had to go and show them, yeah, we got this, we got that, we all that. He started flossing. And as a result, they turned around and came back. The prophets told them, they said, for telling them all of that, now you're going to get put to death. They're going to come back here and they're going to kill you and take all this. Like, that's what heathens do. And we've been in this country for 400 years learning from heathens. You have flossing. You are generating a lust man that has no compass on him. He don't have the bridle and the education of the scripture. All he see is that you wearing the price of a house around your wrist, or you wearing the price of a damn jet around your neck, or some other ridiculous amount of jewelry to floss, to look great. And as a result, he don't have the mental capacity to prove himself. Because he's poor, he's in the hood, he's uneducated, may have a host of other things, drug problems and all kinds of things. But he does get access to a gun, and what's around your neck, his mind will change his damn life. And so he takes your life to change his own life. And that's the madness of this evil place. Go ahead, you got it.
It was Hezekiah, and I have the scripture. So.
Please read it.
2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 13. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them and showed them all the house of his precious things.
Right, of his precious thing, his wealth, his power, his jewelry. Go ahead.
The silver and the gold, and the spices, and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not.
He was vain. He in charge, but he vain and look at we got this and we got that and we got this. And meanwhile, look what he did. You know what I mean? You don't even know who's got the big wealth. You hear about Bezos and what's the computer guy?
Elon Musk.
He's another one, and the Microsoft guy, Zuckerberg, and all of them. Oh, you hearing about them, but you ain't hearing about them ones that's controlling the damn Fed, the ones that make the money. You ain't hearing about them families. You ain't hearing about them ones that control them politicians. You ain't hearing about none of them. You barely hear about the Koch brothers. You ain't hearing about them cats, and they got tons and tons of wealth and power.
And you probably wouldn't recognize them walking down the street.
Yes, they be in a t-shirt.
Walk right by you.
Yes, they be in a t-shirt, a polo. Yep. You're right. Walk right past you in flip-flops and be a billionaire. Bill Gates. Right. He's the other one. Yeah. They walk past you in a billionaire. That Warren Buffett.
That's right.
Warren Buffett come down the street, man, in a sweatsuit. You think he's just a regular old. He don't wear no fancy. If you look at him, he don't even wear an expensive suit. And he worth billions. You know what I mean? Like the ones that really got the cash, they ain't showing all that. And the brothers that's doing it, man, y'all dying, man, so horrible. And so young, man, so young. I mean, they clap, popping y'all off like it's nothing. You know what I mean? And the FBI, man, listen, the FBI is using them wiretaps, brother. I mean, they using them things, brother, like a sous chef doing a damn restaurant on black people. They catching every drug gang, every drug group. They cleaning house. They on all the social media. They hearing all the you saying. Listen, they sitting down. They got black people sitting down, listening to your lyrics and deciphering the slang of your lyrics for FBI agents. And the FBI agents look at it, look at the murder cases, and compare the whole thing. Put it in computers. They drop it in computers to mix it up to see what the comparisons are. Pop the thing out next thing 30 of y'all is under indictment. Like the Lord is just like Puerto Rico. The Lord is requiring that His people return to Him. Right. He's requiring. And Puerto Rico gonna keep getting put in the dark until you hear Captain I.S.U.P.K and everything that he's saying and teaching. Until you break yourself to say, man, let me find the Most High. Let me hear from some place that I normally don't hear. And you go and talk to that man and see what he's talking about. Then you're going to understand how you really fix the Lord from bringing them tornadoes down on that kingdom. And the same with you brothers in the street. You brothers in the street, man, your life expectancy is less than that of war. Feel that for a minute. Meaning somebody go to war right now, they got a better life expectancy than young black men in the streets. Can you believe that, man? Can you believe that? They got a better life expectancy, man. Go ahead, Salaki. Go ahead, Johnson.
This is over 20 years ago, late 90s. I'm in one of your Tuesday night classes in Philly, and you was breaking down, you said that new computer stuff they got going on, that internet, it is the internet. It's there to trap you. They create this to trap you. Watch it. What else is going in the web? The web. World Wide Web. It's a trap.
Like I'm not saying don't use technology. Of course, you know what I mean? We use it every day. I go all into it to spread the word of the Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to GEN.YAHANNA. Big shout out to Big shout out to Papa Juan, working with him. Big shout out to all the brothers putting the story. Big shout out to Mariah, Yediah, Ibad, holding it down. Of course, big shout out to all the children. Like, use the technology. I'm not saying don't use the technology. I learn more and more every day. Big shout out to General SHALAM. He showed me a ton of stuff with the technology and all that. But the thing is, it is a way. It'll trap you into the truth, Lord allow. But damn, if you out there
don't murder nobody.
Yeah.
That's all you're saying.
Yeah.
You don't take selfies with jewelry and
Yes.
Don't film yourself committing the crime.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know what I mean? That's why I laugh when somebody say he the Bernard Briff set up in Canada. Yeah, he's affiliated with several murders. You ain't catching me. If I come to get you, you ain't never get a video. They're gonna say he couldn't have done that. Not that dude. No, you ain't gonna do never see me on that tape. You understand? I'm gonna be in and out and gone. That's how you come looking for me, brother. Sitting there eating plate of food. Come on, man. Like, that's not how, like, y'all not moving real horribly out. And they getting the best of you, man. The best of you. Wiping you out. And listen, and it's punishment. It's punishment because the Most High is against you being a warlock. If you're a drug dealer, you're a warlock, man. You're a witch. You don't even know you're a witch. You're a goddamn warlock, guy. You understand? And the Lord is not on your side. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Which is also why, to keep the evil going, Esau got to promote the warlocks. That's why he's giving you so much money. Like that, like that's the railroad. The railroad is you sell drugs, get all these stories, make all this music about all the evil that you did, and then you get a rap contract. And then he pull you up and then make you even a bigger star so you could tell all the stories of how you were a warlock and how you sold drugs as a warlock. You know what I'm saying? How you bewitched the people with what you did, that you destroyed people's lives with. And that's exactly what they want. They want the warlock to be glorified. They want him to they want you to look at Jay-Z like he's, and recently Jay-Z apologized in one of his songs. He apologized for selling drugs in the past. And I a little late in the game, but at least he recognized, now that he's wealthy and got all this power, he started to recognize, like, damn, they really used the hell out of us to sell these drugs, to destroy these people. And now he's repentive of it. You understand? Now that he's a little older and a little more seasoned, see, they get you when you're young. You don't know no better. You full of zeal. You trying to, come up in the world and then use you and teach you how to become a warlock. And it's an evil, wicked thing. And the Lord gonna keep doing us in until we come out. We only got one path out of this world, out of this evil. And that path is through them scriptures. It's through our King. That's the only path we have up out of here. Anything else is going to fail us. Believing anything else is going to fail us. Taking on any other philosophy is going to fail us every single time. We got a simple path. We always had. You understand? This ain't the new path. We always had the path. We just chose every other path because our slave masters always preferred them paths. Our slave masters wanted us to be into white Christianity and white Jesus and make us believe. You should see how many Benjamites come out in the Caribbean totally believing in the white Jesus philosophy and believe that that's how they're going to make it, how they're going to get out of these huts and these shanty towns. And many times when they do and come to America, brother, they give their whole heart and life to them churches. They pay them tithes, brother, to the day they die. They pay them tithes and support them and make them churches rich because they believe that that's how God has blessed them, when it had nothing to do with that. It was that was the philosophy of the slave master. So the slave master had mercy on you because you were willing to believe in the gods that he had. You got to believe in the Most High in them scriptures and defy that slave master until he brings you to the Lord, brings you through. Then you can stand on your own. Then you can be a free man or free woman. Salah, come on with it.
I believe since if we only could do one, the one he probably preferred to Yediah is the choking preacher.
Yeah, we got to do that. But now, what we finished with the Bobby Smurf, right?
We didn't even do it. You want to do it?
Oh, damn, Salah.
So now don't sweat.
Talk all the
just because of time. If unless you want to do both.
It's your call. Go ahead, Mariah.
I would do that.
I played the video a few times with Bobby Smurf.
Okay, the people saw it then.
Probable cause.
Okay, saw it.
Okay, so sorry.
So the token preacher then.
Probable cause.
You know, this is the same one with the
Man, this was, it was amazing. Like, this is a lunatic they got sitting up over that church now. He in Brooklyn, right?
He in New York, I know that.
Right. He is an absolute lunatic they have over that damn church out. You know what I mean? Like, this is who we believe in. This is who we love. Like, boy, oh boy, if you could just take the time, if you could somehow slow down your life for just a moment and say to yourself, I'm going to invest a little time in trying to read and understand the Bible. For real. You understand? Not based on what they've been telling you, but really understand it and get them answers in ISUPK, which is why we got all these online classes. And you're going to see some things in that book that is going to be absolutely life-changing to you. It's going to open your eyes on a completely another level. And it's so masterfully put together that every nation on earth has the Bible, but every nation on earth cannot decipher the Bible. You understand what we're saying? Ain't nobody never deciphered it this way. When have you had somebody break these scriptures down the way we break them down and give you the understanding of them the way we give you the understanding? You have never had that before One West. And the reason for that, because nobody else was sanctioned to do it until One West. And which is why it should be held on to, man. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great thing, man. It is gonna be a great thing. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Whenever y'all ready, go ahead. So we'll do this one later. Like, you can try to go into the world as much as you want. You know what I mean? But the world is never, ever going to fulfill the dreams you believe it's going to fulfill. It'll never do that. Even for Jay-Z. Jay-Z now is, once again, life, the truth of life always catches up to you. And the only thing that answers the truth about life is the scriptures. And that's why he's coming to the conclusion of what he did and what he experienced. And he, of course, believed he had to go through that. He had to do that to get where he got, he believes. Which, in essence, in this kingdom, you do if you're going to believe in the slave master. Like, if you want a piece of what the slave master has, you're going to have to give your soul over to that slave master. Unless you trust in the Most High enough that the Most High raise up his nation. Then you're going to have something. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
The name of Jesus. Let's pray in the spirit, y'all. Roko shana ma 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 si. Roko bo shata ba ba ba. Rete bebe go shata ba. Ata ba boko shata ma si. Roko shene ma ba shata ba ba. Ebe go shata ba 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 ba. Rete bebe go shana ba. Hey, glory to God. Now remove her out of here. Now move her out of here. Move her out of here. Bitches.
Damn.
Come preach. You want to come preach? Come on up here. Come on up here.
So they play
come on up.
and then they go into
Bitches.
Did he say bitches?
Come preach. You want bitches. Come preach. You want to come preach? Come on up here. Come on up here. Yeah, come on, Lord. Yes, Lord.
And if I could,
in the name of Jesus.
You pause it for 1 second.
In the name of Jesus.
First of all, let me show you the wave of what's going on. If you notice his talking in tongues, he was trying to use African sounds. Like, they're not even doing it like they used to, boom, shaka, laka, laka, laka. Now, he tried to make it sound like African sound. And brother, no, he ain't African, he's a J. And let me explain something to you. That choking her, you know why he's choking her? It ain't for what she just arguing with him with. He's choking her because that church is not making the money that he wants. Right. Like that, he's going broke in that damn church. And every incident makes him more broke. Like, the hustle is over. You understand? The hustle is over. Wait a minute. Ohio, man, we didn't bring that up. The big church that they tried to give over to the school.
That's
Come
correct.
on now with it.
That's correct.
So go ahead,
Please,
break
sir,
it down, please.
In Cincinnati, Ohio. Shout out to Officer Hadar Ya'ala.
Big shout out to Hadar Ya'ala.
Officer Daryala had did a battle. He did a battle with a preacher a few months ago in some giant church. I got the pictures in my phone. I'll send them to you. He did a battle, and the preacher was so impressed and saw that the Most High was with Daryala and not with him. And he came to Daryala and wants to turn his entire church over to the Israelite School of UPK under Commanding General Yohanna.
Go ahead.
He sent us the pictures, and they're working out and negotiating the entire thing. Now it looks like where Dracula lives. You got to get ready for that.
It's Castle Grayskull.
It is. You got this.
But we'll take it.
All right. A little jarring.
You know what I mean? When you come up in there, you think crawl. Some cat with a damn skull sitting up in there like this. Because it's one of them old synagogues turned Catholic church, turned Christian church, now falling into the hands of the Hebrew Israelites. Big shout out to Daryala. And once again, that's what's going to happen. They see what's going on. And they see, and listen, and most of these preachers they in it for the money. Damn near all of them. When I say most of them, they in it for the money. So once the money gets stopped, they're not going through the effort of going in there preaching to you. They don't give a damn about it after that. You understand? I don't know what the case is with this cat, but I'm just saying in general, once that money get cut off, you're gonna see all the preachers shut them too. They ain't gonna bust their behind to try to keep them doors open. That's why they shut them all down during the pandemic. They shut all them churches down during the pandemic. We was right here. Like wasn't even a blip on the radar. You understand? I think one cop came down to the Texas school, you understand, and tried to mess with the brothers down there, which they quickly dealt with him at the door and had him go on about his business. But other than that, man, this work went on. And so a lot of churches, I'm watching them around here, them churches is hurting. They going in the coffers deep now, you understand, to go get that money and they going into their treasuries deep to try to maintain them churches, man. But you can't beat the word of the Most High. There's nothing you could do to beat that. No preacher, no religious leader could come before these scriptures and the breakdown of the I.S.U.P.K. It's never been done. It's never been done, and it never will be done. And the reason for that is because this comes from the Most High. The problem is because as niggas, you don't think it could actually be from the Lord. Right. Like if a dozen white boys came out and said, we've had a revelation from God, that blacks are the real Jews, and we're going to be the new council, and this is our organization, there'll be millions of people in there. Millions of people will join that organization because the slave master's in it, so hey, it must be okay. But that's okay. The witchcraft is going to come up off of you. It's taking a little time, but it's coming up off of you. So big shout out again to Daryala and all the brothers out there in Ohio, man, holding it down. Did an excellent job. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Cat gave it up. He gave up the whole church after this. Salaki, that's it there. Get a big shout on one of them if you could. Now, come on with it. Good night. Look at that bad boy right there. And this ain't the first church that turned over their doors to us. Y'all seen many tapes we have out. We had tons of churches turned over their churches to us, man. Look at that spot there. Sure.
That's why I need you. I'm already thinking about how much it's going to cost to heat that place. The electricity on there is insane.
Listen, we're going to have to
I
had to have a Passover. I was saying, we're going to come up with it.
You're going to do it.
We might burn them pews.
There you go.
Put some chairs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, but this is how it took place with Peter. Peter and them took over the temple, man. They took over the temple and raised up them 12 tribes to Yahushua, and them 12 tribes came back out and became loyal citizens of the kingdom of Yahushua. Repented and joined back into the covenant with the king, and brother, they went, and eventually the Roman Empire fell behind the whole thing. You know what I mean? But that's good right there. We're good to go. You know what I mean? So is that it? We done? With that, pay your tithe, support the truth, ISUPK.com. We're building you a brand new website. It's going to be online, Lord allow, as soon as possible. I mean, it's a beautiful, interactive website. We're working on it. In the meantime, go to ISUPK.com.
of security that I would like to have.
Raven wished not to be on camera.
This organization was founded on an ideology that was previously meant to be about integration. One of the founders of this not this organization, but of this ideology in particular, the Hebrew Israelite ideology, was named William Sanders Crawley. He was a big proponent of integration. And a lot of the tactics he used to get people on board are very similar to the street preaching that they use.
The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and it feels good to tell him that. That's right.
But overall, you know, this is obviously a group that is like splintered off. This could not be farther from the original vision. The whole crux of their argument is that they're the true Jews. They're the chosen people, right?
God don't love everybody. He wants you to be separate from everybody.
Right. I'm sure you've heard that argument from white supremacists. We're the chosen people. We're the ones that are supposed to have domination.
Whilst I was at the park, I was asked if I would essentially bend the knee, get down on all fours, and kiss the boots of I.S.U.P.K, who is the camp leader for Oklahoma. I abstained because of journalistic integrity. Could you explain to me the kind of reasonings for that? And I mean, especially why they pick people very clearly down on their look to try and kiss their boots.
They want to look strong.
Sorry, because you just told everybody out here looking that you're sorry. Right. So the Bible says you have to do this.
I'm sure to them it feels very validating. They definitely do it. It definitely helps like support their claim that they're the chosen people. That even white people know that they're bad. And the worst part is, even after people do kiss the boot, they still talk to them like a dog.
This is a small gesture right here. Right. What he's done is a small gesture. It don't bring back our grandmothers that they killed and lynched and hung from trees.
I've noticed a lot of times that people with a lot of white guilt who don't know how to channel it properly will do it, right? They'll be like, I agree, that's bad. Yeah, white people are bad. Yeah. You'll hear a lot of people say stuff like that. It's not actually fixing anything. I can understand why they're mad at white people.